Hi, Bill Yannick here. Welcome to a very special edition episode of The Daily Grind. We're at episode 100, and we're about to begin season 2 of The Daily Grind. A little bit of context of where we came from. A few months ago, before the pandemic, we started this process as a weekly show called The Grind. We immediately went into pandemic mode before we even did a couple of episodes, and so went right into the daily format. But this journey, this digital transformation for Connects actually began before that, and really kicked into high gear following 2018 when we had a keynote from Mr. Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. Gary talked to our membership, if you go back and think about the need for a digital transformation in bricks and mortar retail. Talked about the need for podcasts and being on video and being on LinkedIn. Gary also talked about the need to plan for tough times. And boy, did a lot of those things come to fruition. My team at Connects also spent a day at VaynerMedia headquarters in December of 2018, where as a Connects staff, we looked at the digital transformation. So fast forward to 2020, really March of 2020, we go into this pandemic where we go into our largest event is basically canceled for a year and a need to go virtual, go digital. And we thought the best guest to come back to wrap up this first season and kick off the second season of The Daily Grind was none other than Gary Vaynerchuk, who's going to talk to us about the digital transformation. Gary, welcome to The Daily Grind, and why don't we dive right in with your thoughts on what this digital transformation has looked like from 2018 to now? And what are you seeing with B2B connections in really a virtual setting?
I've heard from so many more individuals, whether it's direct to consumer, whether it's cloud-based infrastructure, whether it's social media content at scale. A lot of themes I've been pushing for the last decade become a necessity out of something like COVID. It was an inevitability prior to that, but I'm seeing a lot of movement, my friend.
Good deal. Well, and our organization, so we're retail facility management, and so we're bricks and mortar retail, multi-site, and we're a B2B organization. So we've got buyers and sellers.
Yep.
And as we talk about, everyone's talking about this new normal in time of COVID. What are your thoughts on connecting? So it's all about connections. My organization, our job is to bring them together. How do you connect buyers and sellers in an environment where people just can't meet in person?
Virtually. I mean, look what we're doing here right now. I'm in New York City. Where are you again?
We're in Dallas, Texas.
Right.
Yeah.
This is free software. Works perfect. You look great. I hear you clear. No lag. More Facebook groups. More free Zooms. More LinkedIn groups. More virtual connections. I am literally on a computer connecting with humans, not working on Excel sheets. I am interacting with a human for 12 hours a day.
Wow. Yeah, and we're seeing you everywhere, and you're right. With
and
Zoom.
By the way, you're seeing me everywhere from, maybe I'll do a podcast like this because I'm excited to be here. Big 100 episodes, incredible. But 85% of that is not being on CNBC or Today Show or doing something like this. It is operating. I'm getting clients together. I just left being with 11 potential clients, having a virtual drink, talking about the industry, and texting with one. I'm on the side right before I came here. It's now a door open for a piece of business. I'm in B2B. That literally, I'm mad at myself that wasn't the answer. The answer is what I just did 4 minutes ago. Got 11 people together to shoot the breeze. Yeah. Said some smart things. Somebody said, hey, I want to talk to you about that. I, in the chat, said, what's your number? Texted them right now on my app, opened it up here. And we're meeting next Tuesday with my new business team.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing times. It's challenging times. So can we take a step back then? So we've talked some of the tactics and some of your strategy, but I love when you talk mindset. You talked to our crew a couple years ago about how you were waiting for the very challenging times to come because you knew that would separate the winners from the losers. What are your thoughts? Maybe a little pep talk for our members, for bricks and mortar retail. Now that we're in the toughest of times, how do you get that positive mindset, or what mindset should entrepreneurs or retailers have now?
I mean, look, there's nothing but opportunity. And obviously if you're a restaurant or, B2B with physical locations, like some people have taken a gut punch, but the reality is good news. Italy, Spain, and Germany had 13 new cases combined, so there is light at the end of the tunnel. We unfortunately have made it a political issue in our country. And so we're a little bit behind everybody else, but we're going to get out of this at some point. And in that, we're going to see the world come back to some sort of form of new normal, and there's gonna be a ton of opportunity. And so, I think this is a mini pause, 6 months, 12 months, but look, to your point, I was talking a lot about saving money, being smart, being thoughtful. The reality is tomorrow's coming, and use this opportunity to learn new skills so you can hit it hard if you have to do things physical, or for a lot of us like me, we've been able to do things virtually. And that's how we're attacking it. I mean, look, this is all offense. Entrepreneurship is not about crying. Mm-hmm. It's stressful. It's hard. But unfortunately, when you work at a job and you cry, somebody at HR or a boss has to be there and engage with it. As an entrepreneur, it's lonely. You cry, nobody's hearing you. And so we need to focus and move.
Well, great stuff. Great perspective. And hopefully that lifts some people up. We're trying to keep the energy live here at Connects. And before that, Prism, when you talked to us, and we've been on that journey, we always ask Gary a very tough question at the end. So I'm going to ask you two tough questions to finish this. One is, what are you most looking forward to when we get out of these lockdowns and shutdowns? What are you going to do?
Hugging. I'm a very touchy-feely high five. And I know that people might be weary of that. So it'll be interesting to see if I'm allowed back in the way I want to. I'm excited to travel. You know, I was very excited to not travel. I've been traveling so hard for 7 years. My body needed the rest. I like it, but I'd be lying. I'd like to get around a little bit. I'm excited about adjusting to the new normal, you know, working from home during the week because I've got a big banquet or a school function or want to work from my parents' house and just because I want to hang out with them for the day. So I'm excited about realizing there's an actual new normal. So those kind of things.
Good deal. Well, my last big question here on our episode 100 is something that's near and dear to your heart. I'm a football junkie too. Are we going to have Jets football this fall?
Yes. I think the NFL has shown me the indications that we are. It could be a little tricky, but like a big executive said to me, look, guys are going to get it, but they're going to get tested on Monday morning. When they're diagnosed Tuesday, they're going to quarantine, but we have 5 days before we have to play the next game, and that's going to help in comparison to what baseball is dealing with. And so I believe football is going to happen. I think the other thing I want to bring up to everybody before I bounce, LinkedIn content. Everybody watching right now, I said it then, I'll say it again, LinkedIn content. You can have no audience. You don't have to spend ads to amplify it. It is a huge opportunity for this audience. Please start making videos and pictures and come up with things to say, just random things to say, who you are, your life story, tell stories, put out LinkedIn content.
Fantastic. Gary, thank you so much for doing this. And that's a wrap on episode 100 of the Daily Grind, or I guess the beginning of our second season. Thank you so much for joining us. And for our audience out there, we're adjusting a little bit to the right. We are going to be here every weekday at 2 Central at the same link and same time. And you can also watch those back episodes at connectsfm.com. That's our Daily Grind for today as we start on season 2. Have a great one.